Hey guys, Simon here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about 10 things you don't know about the RPG Nioh. Some of these topics you may or may not know yet, and the closer we get to number 1, the more obscure these topics will be. But overall, they are here to help you better understand the game and to make your playing experience the best it can be. If you find something you liked or enjoy in the video, please feel free to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Feedback is important to the process, and I would like to hear from you guys, your ideas, and your opinions. Okay, let's get started. By now you know you have a guardian spirit and that you can activate it to turn yourself into a living weapon for a few seconds before it wears off. What you may not know is that each of these guardian animals have skill buffs and that can be applied to your character depending on which one you choose. Each animal has a different set of buffs for you to choose from for your playstyle, and each buff applies to your character if you meet the spirit requirement for each buff. Be sure to level up your spirit to the right level depending on which animal's buffs you prefer, as some of these animals require higher spirit than others to acquire their full benefit. Several items, enemies, and traps in the game can set you on fire, and this can stay on you for a few moments, slowly ticking down on your health bar. You can notice the debuff on your character, usually seen as an emblem below your health bar with a ball of flame in it. What you may not know is that there are two different types of these debuff. The first one applied to your character as initial damage, and the buff is placed on you, but it appears white in the emblem and does not damage you over time. The second debuff appears just like the first one, but enough fire damage has been applied to you that the fireball symbol in the emblem has turned red, and now you are having damage done to your character over time. To quickly remove this debuff, simply perform a few rolls on the ground and watch as it quickly dissipates with each one, allowing you to put out the flame while taking less damage and perhaps escaping from whatever caused it. Note, however, that the white fireball emblem does not require you to roll and put it out because it does not damage you over time, but acts more as a gauge of how much fire damage you have taken before you are set on fire. Nioh has a lot of areas where you can fall to your death or get knocked over a ledge, and I'm sure you have already done this several times. Sometimes when this happens, your character will enter an animation as if he is trying to regain his balance before falling. If you are fast enough, you can roll away from the ledge before you fall, saving yourself a ton of health and not leaving you in a prone state for what enemies may be laying at the bottom of that fall. This topic was one I found by accident. I kept dying on one particular level and was getting very frustrated. For whatever reason, I saw a crow on a roof and I shot it. To my surprise, the round interacted with the crow and it flew off and dropped an item when it did. From then on out, I always keep an eye out on the roofs or for any type of perched bird, just for the easy item, which seems to range from stones to elixirs to spirit stones. This simple gesture is one of the many you are able to perform. However, this gesture is one that requires a bit extra to pull off. If you have two people and are able to line it up, activate the emote. After you have started the emote, your arm will raise up. Then hit the triangle and give the high five to somebody. It takes time and practice to get it just right, but it's a pretty cool little mechanic for the game, if you can manage it, which I could not. Earlier I showed you a way to avoid falling off ledges by rolling away if you have the chance. For those times when you can't roll away and you are going down no matter what, be sure to hit and hold X button right before you're about to hit the ground. It doesn't have to be precise when you land, just a second or so before will do, and if you have the timing right, you will be able to perform a roll when you hit the ground instead of just pancaking yourself. Depending on the height of the fall, however, you may or may not survive the damage, but if you do, it could just save your life. You should know by now how to activate your living weapon. By pushing triangle and square at the same time, you turn into a living weapon and can do a ton of damage and remain invulnerable to damage as long as the buff lasts. But you can end it another way. Simply sheathe your sword and the buff will go away and start its cooldown process. I would like to note, however, that the energy that's left over from the first buff does not go back into your spirit guardian. You will have to refill the meter again completely in order to use the buff again. There are countless chests throughout the game. Some of them reward you with items, weapons, and armor, and some knock you on your ass and then fight you when you don't perform the actions they like. It would be nice to know which of these chests were real and which ones might be a bigger pain in your ass than you thought. Lucky for us, there is a way to tell. When approaching a chest, pay attention to the front sides of the box and note how many gold bars are on the sides. If the chest has 2 gold bars, then it is a real chest and will open, giving you whatever items that are inside. If it is a mimic chest, you can tell by how many gold bars, again, are on the front sides of it. If it has 3, then it is a mimic chest, and that squirrel thing will pop up and turn into you and perform a gesture wanting you to perform the same one back to it, before it will give you items or it'll just fight you because you pissed it off. Surely by now you have seen the sword in the ground, stood over it to see who had died, rezzed them, brought them back to life, killed them, and then took their stuff. These are called revenants, and they died somehow on that map making a mistake. However, did you know that the revenant names that are in red are placed by the developers of the game, and the names that are in white are actual players trying to beat it, but made a mistake along the way and BAM! They got AIDS and they died. Another simple way to tell the difference between these two is that if you go over to the red names, you can notice that there is no date and time of their death, it just says how they died, while the white player names will tell you exactly how they died, when, and where. Not all holes are death traps. Some lead you to hidden pathways, but they may make you think you will die just because about any time we do fall into a random hole, we die. A good trick the developers use to keep us away from hidden pathways. However, be sure to pan the camera around the area and inspect it if you have second thoughts about it. It might just be an area you missed, and it could be hiding treasure, kodomos, or some other type of thing that you might need for your quest in order to finish it. Well guys, that's all I got for you on this video. I hope some of these topics have helped you, or you learned something new that will help you along in your adventure in Nioh. If you liked the video, hit the buttons and subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know what you think, and keep pushing on Nioh. I hope to see you guys out there in the real world sometime and stab you right in your back.